Chilekupu. Obugu kere lukala. Aina torogo mama. Lebendem daranga mugua. Obunde shila rapid television. Abiaru kamano labum paretoka. Kamano labum pa ifambasaru melala. Madashi Chilekupu jiwe biabia lejuala. Nam shobiaranga mabia bulem. Yange lampu apla lazo. Oboji la ineja nabatawa. Obkanoji la nani njiri luonwan. Luonani. Obkanada njiri da nabatawa. Obkanoji la ineja nabatawa bihai. Anmashi Chilekupu. Mpa biarua. Menye wojaga we toji tatama. Ange toji tatudo. Ange toji tato galihi. Oge to Abia State ma. Oge to Nigeria ma. La hankenna. La nkopara. La nke monso. Amen.
Good morning, this is Eastern Circle on Rapid TV, reaching you live from our studio here in Umuahia, the capital of Abia, God's own state. It's been a while, I know. I still remain a Daisy, a Beam, and I have Michael here with me.
Very good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mikey.
Good morning, yeah, actually. Very good to see you. And my name is Michael Odemnabadi, and welcome to Eastern Circle. It's another beautiful edition, and of course, we've got lineup for you. But I woke up this morning with videos of some schools, you know, playing the old new. I think that's where we address it now. Old new national anthem and the assembly ground and stuff like that. And I'm like we're in for another bout of, you know, it's going to take a while for people to get used to the one that we've been using already. A lot of people don't even know how to sing it completely.
I know some people know how to sing the first stanza. Where some
okay,
persons
yeah,
have issues.
Going down to it. So I'm like, but you, let me ask you.
Michael, please don't. Don't go there, don't.
Because I would lie, I would lie, okay? But I don't know this new anthem entirely.
I don't know it, and I don't even, let me not say it. It's going to be difficult to learn because it was easier while we were in the school environment. We had to learn this thing to sing every morning during the morning devotion. But now, I'll just go and carry my book and start learning.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm actually against anybody punishing any student in any school
for now.
For now. They should give them
in
time
fact, for the rest of the year, I think. I think for the rest of the year, let's take some time and settle in.
I was actually impressed. I saw a particular school online. I think it's in the north. Yeah. The kids were already singing from top to bottom the new old national anthem, and I was really impressed. That means the teachers are really putting a lot of work.
True, and it's going to be easier for those in school.
Kids, yes.
Because right now it's going to be like a routine. It will be written fully. The lyrics will be written and then given to them as assignments and all of that. And that's what I think people should do. Then for us who are adults that we're no longer in the classroom and stuff like that, I think this is where content creators now will come in. So we'll create contents around the new national anthem, you know, share, so that as we are going on social media, we can, when we stumble on these things, we might be forced, you know, especially when
you just have to replace the normal music you play in the house to play in the national anthem. When you wake up in the morning, keep playing, and when you keep listening to it, you don't have a choice to.
Okay. I don't know how that's going to go, because when you wake up, you're supposed to be waking up to worship and you know, singing and praises before you do your devotion. Again, at one national anthem.
You need to quiet about the national anthem. My embarrassment, my brother.
You are right as well. You see, you are also right in that regard. But all this, I do hope that wherever you are, that you are actually trying to learn the national anthem, at least to make sure that you're a true patriot. Trust me, I'm learning. So you should too. because it's something that we need to do to authenticate our national identity. That is what it is about now, and we have to all conform to it. But hey, once again, welcome to Eastern Circle, and of course, let's get started with what we have for you this morning. So we take a look at the first story here. The 3 principals in the state here at God's own state caught extorting student have been suspended. And as well, over the past couple of days, Innocent Motors donated a fire truck to Abia State in celebration of the new face of Abia. And of course, the Jack building, which started over 12 years ago, has been finally commissioned by Governor Alex Otti here in the state. This we bring to you in details with conversations shortly after the break. Don't go away.
Welcome back. This is still Eastern Circle on Rapid TV. Straight to our first story. 3 principals of public schools were arrested for illegally collecting different fees, ranging from PTA levies to SSCE fees and so on. This was contained in a memo released last week by the State Ministry of Education. And Mikey, for me, I kind of like the developments because for a while, we've been complaining about these extra levies on kids in different schools, secondary and primary, and the Ministry of Education in Abia State now had to act, not just saying it or giving the warning to these principals and school owners. She had to suspend 3 principals for extra levies for these kids, and part of this extra levy, they said, is to help the kids in SSCE exams, which I them as aiding them in examination malpractice. Because when you have to charge extra fees for exam, probably to sort the external supervisor or invigilator, that means you are aiding them to engage in examination malpractice. So it's a warning to every other school principal out there, both the private and government schools, who are collecting extra fees from the students. Sometimes when you see these kids on the street and you ask them, why are you not in school? They give you excuses like, we're asked to bring this and my mommy said we don't have money, I have to sell certain things to save up money to go back to school and pay this.
It's really sad, very sad. Actually, that memo, one thing I find, maybe I think they didn't do completely, would have been to publish the names of these principals, right? And even the school where this happened. But maybe for sake of maybe safety and security and stuff like that. But it's fine. The point is, I think they were also demoted. If they by the time they are done with their suspension, they will be going down and their
level. To vice principal, back to classroom.
I don't know whatever the demotion is going to bring them down to, but at least something has been done. So it is important that we see that education in public schools are meant to be free. That is the idea.
Yes.
This is the way the government gives back to the society, gives back to the people that they are governing, so that you wouldn't have any excuse not to send, not to educate your child. All right? Because the idea is, if you have the money, go to private school and enroll your children. But because we want to, you don't have money, but you also have the right as a child to quality education, free. You go to public schools. Then you go to public schools and then you are still being asked to pay, and at the end of the day it looks like you are also going to private schools, and it doesn't make any sense at all. So it's something that I think it's important that, I mean, this is not the first time. In some other states, in Rivers State for instance, some years back, some principals were also they were actually relieved of their duties for stuff like this as well. And then the painful part is the one that they are collecting the money for SSCE. And I mean, like, the idea of school, even if some private schools hide to do this, their exam practice thing, and public school, for God's sake.
That means you didn't do your due diligence to teach the kids for you to be aiding them in examination malpractice. So if you've covered the syllabus, did everything on the scheme, you should be proud to usher the kids into the examination hall for them to go and excel and not aid them in examination malpractice.
It's really, I mean, it's painful. I feel this is the part where the government should do a lot more. All right, if we have public schools let them stay public schools and let them be free, completely free, and let the children know that, okay, it's not business as usual. You have to do it the right way. The reason why we are affording you, why we are giving you free and quality education is so that you can represent. So you cannot come at the end of the day, you now have to come and pay for exam malpractice and all of that. It's not helping us. All right, we are talking about educating the populace and increasing our GDP and all of that. If we keep going this way, we're not going anywhere. Definitely we are not.
We're not going, but with this we know that every other person involved with this have learned their lessons. I
think one other thing I remember is I think with this energy, I also believe and think that it is also right for the government to look at the welfare of teachers.
The teachers.
All right, because if these teachers and principal or whatever and whatnot, if they are properly taken care of, if they are paid properly, all right, I know Labour is on with the minimum wage thing and all of that. Yes, that's also a good idea. So if the government could make the teaching profession attractive for people, so that we have quality people who have integrity to man those positions and take care of the quality of education we give out, it will also make sense. Because this is not making excuses. It is wrong. But if the government do more in terms of welfare of teachers, I believe it's going to go a long way to reduce this whole situation.
It will go a long way, but there are still people there in the system that no matter what you do to them, or no matter what you give to them, they will always want more. But they're still the good ones.
Yes, so those ones are the greedy ones, and they should be flushed out of the system.
Exactly.
Arrested if they have to be. Definitely, that's the point. So you don't come and mess up the good works of the government. So do your own part, and then you know that anybody who is caught, you know, so you are an obvious criminal. We'll take you out of the system.
All right, moving on to the second story. Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing Company has donated firefighting truck to Abia State government, commending Governor Alex Otti for believing in Nigeria made. That's nice.
Very interesting. You know, sometimes people don't even believe that these vehicles are actually made in Nigeria. Somebody here properly put together in this country. So sometime I was watching a video of the factory, the production plant, if I may call it that, and I was fascinated. It looks like what I used to see in Mercedes factories where I watch on the Instagram and stuff like that. So it's quite interesting to know that this is happening in Nigeria. And then it makes me wonder, we have 5 southeastern states, for instance. You know, when we talk about the Igbo man, telling the Igbo man story, yeah, for instance, sometimes it's as if we don't really help ourselves, right? Because I'm expecting that this is our own. It's not like there's any issue that has come up to say, okay, maybe the vehicles are not standard or whatever. If these vehicles are certified and they are standard enough, why aren't all the southeastern states patronizing, especially the government, for instance? Because we see that, okay, the government of Abia State, that's his official vehicle, Innocent, for instance, and even Soludo in Anambra State. In fact, he drove it to his his inauguration as governor. So he has been flying the flags of Innocent. So I personally think that all the governors in the southeast, for instance, should take the lead, and then that way we encourage everyone else in the country to do same.
Them. Yes. I think they're taking their time.
They're taking their time. Okay.
That's me making excuses for them, though. It's just 1 year in their different states, so probably they've given it 1 year. They used 1 year to think about it. Yeah. So since they've seen Abia government, they've seen Anambra, so the other remaining 3 states, I guess, would follow suit and start patronizing Innocent. And one thing I wanted to add to this was, you know, in Abia, for some months back, we had incidents of fire outbreak.
Like a bunch of them within a short space of time.
Now we have this company with us here. I think I'm suggesting it wouldn't be bad if we have these drugs at different local governments in Abia for a start. Because let's assume there's a fire outbreak somewhere in Ohafia. I don't think there is any fire truck or fire service outlets in Ohafia. Imagine the distance from here to Ohafia to put off that fire. Before the fire truck will get to that place, a lot of damage must have been done. So it wouldn't be a bad idea, since Owunkai, we can have these trucks at different local governments to help fight these fire outbreaks.
Yeah, I agree with you. And this is where I believe the state government should come in now. The company has donated one. you can now negotiate with them, whatever means, and acquire more, so that you can station. We should have different fire stations in all parts of the state. That should be the idea, so that there will be swift response to incidents. We cannot just have. I know in Anambra, for instance, we have about I don't know, even just in the Onitsha area, we have about four fire stations around, because we have a major market and all of that.
Even in the markets, we should have fire
Exactly.
service outlets there, so that they can tackle fire outbreaks.
This is something the government needs to do, all right? Negotiate with the company and then have more fire trucks acquired. I mean, the one that was brought has been tested. They tested it, that even the governor himself tried to test run the vehicle. So you can tell. So we need to get him to acquire more. If the state doesn't have enough at the moment, or even if they have, there is nothing wrong with getting more, because we noticed what happened back then. If we had more fire trucks or fire stations close by, and then they had equipment, because in one of the occasions was that they called the fire station, and they didn't respond on time. I mean, it was the other one that was okay, that we were celebrating that the fire service arrived early, and then there was stopped. So if we could have more fire stations in more areas of the state, it makes it easier. I know we are in the rainy season. We might not have a lot of fire outbreaks, but then we should also be preparing for the dry season, which will eventually come.
All right, and to the last story for the day, the Joint Account and Allocation Committee JAC building, which started 12 years ago, has been commissioned by Governor Alex Otti. Joint Allocation Account Committee was established in each state of the Federation as well as the Capital Territory to ensure that allocations made to local government councils in the state from the federal account and from the state concerned are promptly paid into the state joint local government account, distributed to local government councils in accordance with the provisions of any law made by the House of Assembly of the state, to monitor the payment and distribution of the allocation, and also to ensure that each local government council gets what is due to it. After 12 years, it gets to be commissioned. 12 years ago, that's during the regime of
that should be TA Orji, yes, definitely.
Orji. And I keep asking, why would a certain government start up a project and don't finish it up? They abandon it. Another government takes over and don't see that project as a priority. They go ahead to start up things they might not actually finish. But look at what Alex Otti has done, which I commend. Continuity, being able to finish up. That building has been there for that long. I know I see that building every time, and it's sometimes turned to habitat for mad persons and so bad people.
When I came into my a couple of years back, and then I each time I see that building, it looks, I mean, like it's strategically placed, so you most likely see it from different locations. And I'm like, I kept wondering, because I never got close to it. I was wondering what the place is for. It's kind of nice edifice and stuff, so but what is it meant for? So until the commissioning happened, and just like you mentioned, continuity in government is very important. And there's nothing wrong with a government starting a project actually and not finishing it. Maybe the time the project was started, they were close to rounding up their tenure.
Okay, I think there should be a plan.
Yes,
you should plan on something you can finish within 4 or let's say you are going for a second term.
Okay, so what if that project was started when you have only a year to leave office?
So why did you start? Why are they starting a project when they have only a year?
Because it's a government.
Why don't they do something they can finish within that space of time that they have?
Because it's a government. It's a government. Government is there. It doesn't go anywhere. It's only the people that come and go, right? So if it's a government project, for instance, so if I'm done with my tenure today, and you take over tomorrow, you are supposed to continue with the project of the government. It's not a TA Orji project. It's not an Ikpazo project. It's a government project, right? So you occupying the position as the head of government there, you should see whatever is, except you are saying you don't see the importance of that project. That's what I'm saying. Why would you not?
Most people that take over don't see those projects that have been abandoned as priority.
And that is the problem. So why was the project started in the first place? You look into that and then you deal with it. complete it. Then if you think it's not important, deal with it as well, remove it. I mean, just clear that, make sure that, okay, that's the aspect of the continuity. It doesn't, sometimes it might not necessarily mean completing it. If you say, okay, we don't see the importance of this project, so we are either converting it to something else or we are removing it entirely. You know, something like that. But just overlook it, and then a lot of money has been invested into that place by the previous administration, and then it's left there to just rot. You understand? So it's crazy. Even the airport matter that has gone all over the place for some time now. The idea first came during the TAOG administration as well. Then the Bazo administration tried to do something about it at some point, and then the controversy is until now. Now the Alex Oti is saying also
wants to do something.
Okay, you get the point. So it's the continuity that we're talking about. It's not supposed to be a big deal or a problem. And now, looking at this JAG building, for instance, it's important and symbolic, because if you remember, I think it was last week or so, the federal government has sued the 36 state government, because there's been this issue of marginalizing the local government system. Always, after local council chairmen are elected, before you know, the government of the day will come in and then sack them all and put CTC, the caretaker committee, whom mostly they use for their own personal purposes, which is not supposed to be. So the government is saying you should, the federal government is saying the state government should allow democratically elected council members to stay. Because the government exists in 3 levels, 3 tiers of government. So
and local.
The federal government, the state, and the local government. So the state government is not supposed to be marginalizing the local government as it has been for a while. That is why this issue is coming. And then with this now, it means that the local government system can function properly, because when the allocation for the local government comes in, it goes straight to those accounts, and then they are being distributed and they are properly utilized. So, but the issue of always throwing them out, putting CTC, who most of the time don't even do anything because they're just answering to the governors who appointed them. They're just there answering
while the state government is running the affairs of the local government.
That's the point, which is not supposed to be. So the allocations come according to the tiers of government, all right? Do your thing at the state. Those that have been democratically elected by the people to represent them at the local council level, let them have the affairs to run to, because
yes, because I believe those at the local government level are closer to the grassroots,
that
and they know
like that's the closest the people have now to grassroots
problem
government.
The people are facing before you move from the federal, the states, to know what's happening at the local government. Those are at the local government level, the local government chairman. They know what their people need more. So when they get those allocations due to them, they will be able to utilize it and do much work for their people.
That's the point. So that's why I think commissioning this building, for instance, it's symbolic, it's important, all right, and it's a good thing. Apart from the fact that it shows continuity in government, which I always commend, all right, and I like to talk about it every other time, because as far as I am concerned, all right, government is about the people. It's not about party. It's not about political party. It's about the people. So irrespective of whatever party you belong to, you should be sure that you are serving the people. You should be sure that whatever it is that you're doing is not serving the interests of the party that you belong to, but the interest of the people.
Who put you there?
Exactly. That's the point. So if you, because I know they will always say, my people called me, my people called me. But then at the end of the day, it's as if when after answering the call, you abandon the people that call you. You block the people. You put all of them on blacklist.
Them on D&D.
So, I mean, so it doesn't matter. So if you believe and you want us to believe that the people called you to serve, then leave your political party and serve the people. That's what I believe, and that's the way government should be. So you should be. That means you should be able to collaborate with other governments of other political parties to make sure that the people are getting what is due to them. You don't say, oh, because this governor is not my party member, then we cannot work together, where the people needs to enjoy some benefits of your working together. Doesn't make sense.
All right, thank you for listening, and that's the size of our package on today's episode of Eastern Circle. We'll take you back to Abuja for the rest of Rapid Down. See you tomorrow.
Good morning.